All right, so what's your guys' names?
RIO.
And what's your current situation?
Homeless, out here in the streets.
And what's the situation that got you to be homeless?
I think I more chose to be out here. I come from Florida. I wasn't homeless when I first got out here. I moved from Florida to California and got out here. And I've been doing so much time in prison and living a conservative life coming from Florida. I just decided that I wanted to experience being out here in the streets. So I chose to go to the U Block and just decided to start hanging out with the homeless out there, and it just manifested.
So you're from Florida originally?
From Florida originally.
How long have you been out here in Bakersfield, California?
About 10 years. I consider myself Bakersfield now, but it's been about 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, going on 10 years.
And is drugs and alcohol part of your situation that got you?
Of course.
Oh.
I wouldn't say it's what got me in the streets. Like I said, my main thing was just like, I like to experience a lot of things and walking the walks of life and seeing them all and different things. And that was one thing that I wanted to experience and see. And then it just became something that I found out that I actually enjoyed too. It's more of a thing that I'm just enjoying right now for the time being. I know when it's time, I'll change, and that things will change for me and her. And, being a couple out here is hard to begin with, so.
Oh, being a couple's hard on the streets?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially when drugs are involved. When you're doing drugs and being a couple and in the streets, and you gotta hustle, and you got this to do and that to do, and you got, so many other things that you have to worry about with the normal worries you have in a relationship, and it's hard.
What do you guys do to survive out here?
Boost.
Boosting is like taking stuff and selling it?
Yeah, hitting the stores and go and finding a fence or already having a fence. I have a couple main buyers that buy for me. I know what they want already, so I just go get the stuff for them and bring it to them.
And how long have you been homeless?
About 7 years now, probably. 8, maybe. The entire time I've lived out here. I mean, considering myself homeless, living in a motel, I guess you consider that homeless still. Because, I've had times like, just the last year and a half I was in a motel living,
You ran out of money?
Yeah, the hustle was a little bit better to where I could pay for the room every night and still pay for everything else that we needed, you know what I mean? And not, fall from that.
How was your childhood? Do you think your childhood brought you into drugs and alcohol?
No, my childhood was great. I had great parents. I had a cool family. My mom was my best friend, life friend. They smoked weed. There was some weed smokers. They weren't really any drug users or anything like that. I got into drugs myself. Really, I think it's just a generation. The times have changed, and it's not like it was when my parents were kids, and drugs wasn't as abundant and it was easy to get.
You mentioned being a couple's hard out here. How are some of the situations being a couple is hard being on the streets? How about you, Yesenia? How long have you been out here on the streets?
Like
5
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah. 6 years.
How did you guys meet?
Through divine intervention, I like to call it.
Divine intervention?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys look good together. Look happy.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been together 5 years now. I was staying in Martin Luther King Park with an OG partner of mine, and we stayed together for 3 years out there. I really wasn't chasing no females. I got out of the relationship with my baby mother that was real toxic and bad. So I just was like, talking to God and saying, whenever you're ready for me to, establish another relationship, just send one my way. Well, Joey, which was who I was staying with at the time, he got a housing voucher, and day they came and picked him up and gave him his keys to his apartment and he left was the same exact day that she showed up at my tent. You know what I mean? So like I left to go to the apartment with Joey. We came back and she was there and she never left.
And it was on from there,
Yeah,
huh?
she never left. I wouldn't let her leave. I own houses.
Is there anything anybody could do to help you out, to, you know, help you guys out with anything?
Yeah, I mean, anything, you know, all the little stuff helps. Even when it comes down to like socks and underwear and clothing, you know, anything like that helps, man. Food, you know, just